In a small noodle shop in China, a man skillfully prepares fresh noodles, spreading them across a large table. Another worker, using wooden sticks, carefully separates them. They leave the noodles to dry slightly before continuing their daily routine, a tradition passed down for generations. Every morning, these handmade noodles are sold fresh, served with a special sauce and a mix of flavorful ingredients. Customers flock to the shop, eager to savor its pure and authentic taste. So popular is this humble establishment that at least 200 people from the city rely on it for their breakfast. If the shop were to close for even a day, these customers would be left without their morning meal, disrupting their daily routines. This shop is more than just a business. It's a legacy. The elderly owner has passed down his craft to his son and grandson. Among them is a young man named Jiang Welchong, the hero of this story. Like many others, he starts his day at the noodle shop, enjoying breakfast before heading to work. He often packs an extra serving to take with him, not just for himself, but also for his girlfriend, Sonia, who shares his love for these traditional noodles. Chong works on a transport boat that ferries passengers between cities. From morning till evening, he makes multiple trips, carrying college students, workers, and travelers. It was on this very boat that he met Sonia, a frequent passenger. What began as casual conversations soon blossomed into love. Every day, Chong brings her a special serving of noodles, prepared just for her. Meanwhile, back at the shop, Chang's grandfather and father complete their work by noon, clean up, and take a well-earned rest. They wake before sunrise, ensuring everything is ready for the morning rush. But the family's work doesn't end there. Chang's father also performs magic shows for children at a local school, not for extra income, but out of sheer passion. Chang's life has not been without hardships. His mother left the family when he was young, and he has grown up knowing little about her. His father raised him single-handedly, with the support of his grandfather. In the evenings, after closing the shop, his grandfather enjoys playing cards with his friends, a simple pleasure that keeps the old spirits alive. Despite their modest way of life, the family has never aspired to wealth or luxury. The shop is not just a source of income. It is their identity, a legacy they cherish and pass down from generation to generation. One day, when Chang's father was away, a man named John appeared at the shop. He approached Chang's grandfather with a surprising offer. "Sell me this shop," John said. "I'll pay any price you ask." As it turned out, John's grandfather once owned this very spot, but had to sell it when business declined. Since then, Chang's family had transformed into a thriving and beloved noodle shop. Grandfather listened patiently before responding with quiet strength. "For more than 50 years, we have built this shop with our hard work. You wish to buy it in a single day? Some things are not for sale. This may just be a shop to you, son, but to me, it is my life. It is my family's identity." Grandfather's voice was firm, but John wasn't interested in listening. Instead, he smirked and threatened, "I'll take you to court and prove that this shop originally belonged to my grandfather, that you took it from him." But grandfather wasn't afraid. With unwavering resolve, he replied, "Do whatever you want. I will never sell this shop." John, sensing an opportunity to challenge him, proposed a test. "You claim that your shop is irreplaceable? That people won't go anywhere else for noodles? Then prove it. Close your shop for 2 days. If even a single customer comes looking for your noodles, I'll admit defeat. But if no one shows up, you must sell the shop to me." Without hesitation, grandfather accepted the challenge. "I don't need just 2 days. I'm willing to close the shop for a whole week. And when I reopen, my customers will return. If they do, you'll leave me alone forever. If they don't, I'll sell you the shop." John left, satisfied with the deal. That evening, grandfather returned home after his usual card game. But something felt different. For the first time in decades, he wouldn't be opening the shop the next morning. The thought weighed heavily on him. In all these years, not once had he taken a day off, not even when he was sick. To him, customers were like gods, and the idea of closing the shop voluntarily was unsettling. Still, he called a supplier. "Don't send any goods this week. I won't need them, but be ready when I call you again." Later, Chang's father called. "I have 2 magic shows tonight. I won't be home." Grandfather sat down, took a piece of cardboard, and wrote in bold letters, "Shop closed." The next morning, the moment the sun rose, something unusual happened. Customers gathered outside the shop, confused by the sign. Some knocked on the door. Others called out, "Why is the shop closed?" Chang's father arrived and froze in shock at the sight of the board. "What is this? Some kind of joke?" He rushed upstairs, where their house was, and confronted grandfather. "What happened? Why did you close the shop? Look outside. So many people are waiting." Grandfather calmly explained the challenge with John. Chang's father was furious. "Are you serious? He can go to the police or the court, but why should we be afraid? Closing the shop for him is foolish." Grandfather simply pointed outside. "John thinks that if the shop stays closed for a few days, people will forget about it and go elsewhere. But look at them. They're still here. He'll soon realize how wrong he is." Chang's father sighed, realizing there was no changing his mind. Meanwhile, Chong and Sonia were strolling through the city, laughing and enjoying their time together. But their happiness was short-lived. Sonia turned to him and said, "I'm moving to Beijing. I've got a new job there." Chang's smile faded. "Beijing? That's far." She nodded. "Come with me. We can start a new life there." Chong hesitated. "I can't. My grandfather and father are here. The noodle shop is here. How can I just leave?" Sonia's expression darkened. "That's the problem with you. You carry that shop on your head, wherever you go." Frustrated, she turned away. "I'm leaving." And just like that, she walked away, leaving Chong standing alone. With each passing day, the uncertainty grows. The shop remains closed, and once again, people gather outside, knocking on the door, hoping it will open. But instead of feeling distressed, grandfather is delighted. "Look at this," he exclaims. "My customers are so loyal. They refuse to go anywhere else." However, Chang's father is concerned. He doesn't want their customers to become frustrated. He steps outside and addresses the crowd. "Hasn't been feeling well for the past 2 days. That's why we couldn't open the shop. Please be patient and come back in a week." Later, Chong approaches his grandfather. "You closed the shop. Now what will I take for Sonia?" Grandfather smiles. "I've already prepared something for you. Eat some yourself and take the rest for her." Chong is relieved and takes the noodles. But when he reaches out to Sonia, she is nowhere to be found. She had left angrily the day before, and now he doesn't know whether she has already gone to Beijing or not. He tries calling her, but her phone is switched off. Feeling dejected, Chong is lost in thought, wondering where she could be. Meanwhile, grandfather, for the first time in his life, looks around and sees the shop completely empty. A heavy sadness fills his heart. He had never seen his shop like this before. At a distance, John watches carefully. As he walks past the shop, grandfather notices him and quickly steps inside, secretly observing his reaction. John glances at the closed sign, smirks, and walks away. That night, grandfather struggles to sleep. In the middle of the night, he suddenly hears loud banging on the shop's door. Alarmed, he rushes downstairs to check, but there is no one there. His heart sinks. The silence of the closed shop is unbearable. His mind plays tricks on him, making him hear sounds that aren't there. He realizes this isn't just about business. This shop is his entire existence. The next morning, as usual, grandfather wakes up early and prepares noodles for Chong. But when he looks outside, he sees something that shakes him. Not a single customer has come. No one is knocking. No one is waiting outside. The street feels eerily empty. Chang's father looks at him and says, "Father, we're losing our customers day by day. If we don't open the shop tomorrow, they'll move on. Once they leave, they won't come back." But grandfather remains unfazed. "Tell me, son," he asks Chong, "do you prefer pizza or my noodles?" Chong smiles. "I love your noodles. I don't like anything else. Pizza always upsets my stomach." Grandfather puffs out his chest with pride. "You see, no fast food can ever replace my noodles. Just wait and watch." Chang's father sighs but doesn't argue further. He packs a box of noodles for Sonia, but Chong shakes his head. Sonia has left for Beijing. We don't know when she'll be back, or if she'll ever come back at all. With that, he leaves for work, his heart heavy. Meanwhile, from a distance, John keeps a close watch on the shop, waiting to see if even a single customer arrives. But no one does. Then, out of nowhere, a taxi pulls up and a woman steps out. Instead of heading toward the shop, she walks straight upstairs to grandfather's home. It's Liz, grandfather's daughter. She is also Chang's aunt, but more importantly, she is John's ex-girlfriend. John freezes in shock. "What is she doing here?" he mutters to himself. Liz had married an American years ago, but things hadn't gone well. After repeated conflicts, she and her husband had finally divorced. When grandfather heard the news, he scolded her. "You loved him enough to marry him, and now, just like that, you're getting divorced." His disappointment was evident. But Liz had her own reasons for coming back. What do you mean by that? Grandfather asks. Libby sighs. Yes, we loved each other and got married. But after the wedding, the love just disappeared. So we got divorced. Why make a fuss over it? Just leave it. Instead, tell me, why have you kept the shop closed? Grandfather frowns. Don't change the subject. Tell me, what exactly happened between you and your husband? Before she can answer, Chang's father steps in. Let her rest, father. She just arrived. This isn't the time to interrogate her. Turning to Liz, he explains the challenge between John and grandfather. Because of this, Papa has decided to close the shop for a week. But I'm worried. What if we lose all our customers? Liz raises an eyebrow. Why is John so desperate to get this shop? Grandfather sold it fair and square. What does he want now? Chang's father sighs. He runs a coffee shop, and I think he wants to open another branch here. As they're talking, a knock sounds at the door. A man enters, carrying a bouquet. But when grandfather finds out John sent it for Liz, he slams the door in the man's face. He then turns to Liz angrily. You divorced your husband, and now the first thing you do after coming back is rekindle things with your ex? Liz is stunned. What are you saying? I didn't even know John lived here. And he got our shop shut down. I'd never associate with him. She folds her arms. I'm here to help you and run the noodle shop, not to waste my time with him. After calming her father, Liz goes straight to John's coffee shop. Deep down, she still feels something for him. After all, John was her first love. She walks inside and glares at him. I only came for coffee. If I'd known this was your shop, I would have never stepped foot in here. Why are you so obsessed with my father's shop? John smirks. So you didn't come to see me? Don't flatter yourself. You know exactly why I'm here. John, ignoring her attitude, begins making her a cup of coffee. Try it once, he says, sliding it toward her. Tell me if it's better than your father's noodles. Liz scoffs. The whole city knows my father's noodles are unbeatable. She pushes the cup away. This cheap coffee of yours could never compare. Without taking a sip, she storms out. Later, Liz visits Chang. The moment he sees her, his face lights up. Lizzie, I've missed you. Liz smiles warmly. Ever since Chang's mother left, she's been the only maternal figure in his life. So, Chang asks, what brings you here? Liz sighs. Things didn't work out between my husband and me, so I left him. And what about your girlfriend, Sonia? At the mention of Sonia's name, Chang's smile fades. She got a job in Beijing and she left. But she asked you to come with her, didn't she? Chang nods. Yeah, she did. But how could I leave? My father, my grandfather, and the noodle shop. This is my life. I couldn't just walk away. Liz places a comforting hand on his shoulder. At least you still talk to her, right? Chang shakes his head. No, she's still mad at me. She won't even answer my calls. Liz gives him a reassuring smile. Don't worry, son. Everything will be fine. The next day, more customers come by. But this time, they barely stop to look at the closed sign. No one knocks. No one waits. Even grandfather starts to worry. Was his son right? Were they truly losing their customers? Seeing him so anxious, Liz takes action. She walks downstairs and bangs loudly on the shop's door. The sound echoes through the empty street. Hearing it, grandfather suddenly feels a spark of hope. It's as if life has been breathed back into him. My customers are still here, he whispers. Just wait a little longer. Meanwhile, John, standing nearby, watches Liz in disbelief. His face darkens. He understands. Grandfather is afraid he'll lose the shop. And Liz? She's trying to keep his spirits up. Maybe, just maybe, she's feeling guilty for doubting her father. When Lizzie goes upstairs, Chang's father asks, Why are you doing all this? I want John to buy this shop, he says. Lizzie is stunned. Have you lost your mind? Papa has poured his soul into this shop, and you're the one who wants to sell it to John. Chang's father sighs. Papa is not young anymore. I see how hard it is for him. Waking up before dawn, making noodles for hours, then working the shop all day. He's struggling to keep up. At his age, he deserves to rest. We should be working hard to give him a comfortable life. He's done enough for us. Now it's our turn to do something for him. Lizzie shakes her head. Rest? That's not what he wants. Brother, if you want to help, support him. Don't take away the one thing that gives him purpose. If you won't run the shop, then I will. Just help me a little, and together, We won't have to sell it to anyone. Meanwhile, Chang's father packs some noodles for Sonia, but Chang sighs. From tomorrow, just make noodles for me. How many times do I have to tell you? Sonia is gone. She's in Beijing and she's not coming back. He walks away, sadness evident in his voice. But that same day, as he's fixing the shop's board, he suddenly sees Sonia standing there. His happiness knows no bounds. You can go to Beijing? Are you staying? He asks eagerly. Sonia smiles, but her words crush his hopes. I'm leaving. I just came to say goodbye. Chang's excitement fades instantly. He had hoped that seeing her again meant she was staying, but her decision was final. She wanted to build her future in Beijing, not in this small town. Saying her final farewell, she walks away, leaving Chang heartbroken. That night, even after coming home from work, he can't sleep. His mind is filled with thoughts of Sonia. His father and grandfather understand his pain well. They had also considered Sonia a part of their family. Meanwhile, Liz and John meet again. John finally reveals his true intentions. I never wanted to take over your father's shop. My plan was to combine coffee and noodles into a new business. I even discussed it with your father, but he refused. That's why I had to challenge him. Lizzie scoffs. You're unbelievable. A combination of coffee and noodles? Who eats noodles and drinks coffee together? John smirks. Listen, no one in this area can compete with my coffee, and your father's noodles are the best in the city. If we combine these two, we can create something no other restaurant can match. It had been John's plan from the very beginning, and now he was trying to convince Lizzie to be on his side. Whether she would agree or not was still uncertain. Later, Lizzie tells grandfather about John's business idea, but instead of being convinced, he becomes furious. Who are you to negotiate about my shop? He shouts. I know exactly what's going on. You left your husband just so you could come back and fool around with John again. As he speaks, he suddenly clutches his chest in pain. Lizzie panics and rushes him to the hospital. Thankfully, it turns out that the pain was caused by stress and there was no serious health issue. But in the hospital, they still put him on tubes and monitors. Frustrated, grandfather tears off the tubes and storms out. I told you, there's nothing wrong with me. They bring him back home and Lizzie scolds him. Papa, you scare me. I was just thinking about the best future for the shop. If we partner with John's coffee shop, we'll increase profits. We could even hire more staff to make the workload easier. Just then, John arrives, carrying a basket of fruit for grandfather. But as soon as grandfather sees him, his anger flares up again. Chang's father steps in and tells John, Look, my father is already under stress because of you. You got our shop closed, and now you're here to rub salt in the wound. John speaks calmly, saying, I came to say something else. I want to take back my challenge. I won't trouble you anymore. From tomorrow, open your shop and continue working. I don't want to shop anymore. I know I caused you all a lot of trouble, and I don't expect forgiveness, but I am truly sorry. With this, John shows his sincerity. He walks downstairs, and Lizzie follows him, thanking him. For the sake of my father, you gave up your business idea. Thank you. John smiles, rips up the shop closure notice, hands it to Lizzie, and says, Open your shop tomorrow. All the best. Then he walks away. The next morning, everyone gathers to make noodles, and the shop opens at the usual time. More than ever before, a long queue of customers forms outside, eagerly waiting for their favorite noodles. Grandfather's words prove true. Loyal customers always return, no matter how long the shop stays closed. Now, grandfather, Chang's father, Chang, and Lizzie all work together, serving hot and delicious noodles to their happy customers. After finishing the day's work, Lizzie cleans the kitchen, washing the utensils. Meanwhile, Chang is on a boat when he notices a woman watching him from afar. When the boat begins to move, she quickly boards. Suspicious, Chang asks, Who are you? The woman hesitates before saying, I am your mother. Hearing this, Chang feels like the ground has slipped from under him. His face hardens, his eyes fill with tears, and anger rises within him. You're lying. My father and grandfather told me my mother died when I was little. I don't know who you are, but please leave me alone. The woman's eyes well up. I'm sorry for everything. I shouldn't have left you. But now, I have a serious illness, and I don't have much time left. I just want to see you one last time. The truth begins to unfold. Years ago, a fight between her and Chang's father led to her leaving home. However, she never truly left. She had been living in the same city, watching Chong from a distance. But Chong never had his mother's love growing up, and now, suddenly seeing this woman claiming to be her, he refuses to accept it. His heart grows heavy. "Go away," he says coldly. In his mind, all he can think about is loss. First, Sonia left him. Now, the mother who abandoned him years ago suddenly wants a return. He doesn't want to hear anymore. Heartbroken, the woman turns to leave. But as she disappears from sight, something tugs at Chang's heart. After all, she is his mother. He starts running after her. Meanwhile, the truth emerges. Her illness is incurable, and in despair, she was planning to end her life. But Chong reaches her just in time and saves her. At home, Chang's father is chatting with Lizzie when Chong texts Lizzie. "I saw my mother." Lizzie doesn't tell Chang's father anything and immediately rushes to meet Chang's mother. She tells her, "I'm glad you're back. After all these years, I've returned too. Let's all stay together and be happy." Chong, still emotional, finally tells his father, "Mother has returned. I was angry at her, but how can I stay mad at someone who only has a few days left to live? She's been watching me from a distance all these years, and today, she was about to take her own life. I saved her. Please forgive her." But his father remains silent. Lizzie and Chong admit Chang's mother to a hospital. The next day, Chang's father goes to see her. However, instead of a warm reunion, another argument breaks out. "Because of you, I had to stay away from my son for so many years," she says tearfully. "No mother should have to go through that pain. Do you even understand what I suffered?" Years of suppressed emotions pour out in a single moment. But this time, Chang's father doesn't get angry. Instead, he listens silently and gradually calms her down. Outside, Chong overhears everything and feels uneasy. Lizzie reassures him. They will make amends. Just give them time. Don't worry, go back to work. Later that day, when Chong returns home, he sees his parents sitting together. Calm, no tension, no fights. A sense of peace finally settles in. Meanwhile, a doctor informs him that Chang's mother can be treated, but the treatment will be expensive. Having lived alone for so many years, she has no money to afford it. Lizzie tells grandfather everything. At first, he gets angry, but after thinking for a while, he sighs and agrees to pay for her treatment. He tells his son, "It doesn't matter whose fault it was. What matters is that we let go of the past and move forward. If you need more money for her treatment, just let me know. I am ready to give everything I have if it means my son, Chong, can experience his mother's love." Meanwhile, John and Lizzie meet at a quiet place. John had actually called Lizzie to propose. They had studied in the same school and spent many years together. Their love started in childhood, but for some reason, they parted ways. Lizzie later married someone else, but John never did. Now, he doesn't want to lose her again, and Lizzie, too, has realized that she wants to be with him. However, there's uncertainty. Will Lizzie's father approve of this marriage? In the next scene, Lizzie's father hands her a long shopping list. She looks at it in confusion and asks, "Are we expecting guests?" He simply replies, "Don't ask questions. Just buy these things." Lizzie nods and leaves. Meanwhile, Grandpa goes to meet John and unexpectedly invites him to their house. John agrees, and when he arrives, Grandpa personally prepares a bowl of his special, traditional noodles. As soon as John takes the first bite, it's as if he's transported to another world. The flavors are unlike anything he has ever tasted before. At the same time, Lizzie returns home, carrying the shopping bags. She is surprised to see her father sitting with John. Curious, she walks over and is stunned to hear that her father has not only agreed to John's business idea, but has also set condition. Wait for 6 months, and then we will merge both shops. But that's not all. Her father has also started addressing John as his future son-in-law. It turns out Grandpa had already realized that Lizzie and John were still in love, and he fully supported their marriage. Lizzie is overwhelmed with happiness. 2 months later, their noodle shop continues to thrive. Chang's mother is slowly recovering. And finally, the day comes when Chong brings her back home. Seeing his son and daughter-in-law reunited, Grandpa feels at peace. In the final scene, Chong is seen as always carrying a box of noodles. He sets off for work, but the film never reveals who the noodles are for. Has Sonia returned? Or has Chong found someone new? The movie chooses not to answer that question directly. But one thing is clear, Chong looks truly happy. And in the end, isn't that what matters most, friends? With this heartwarming note, the feel-good movie comes to a close. Perhaps you might feel that the story is simple, It doesn't have dramatic twists, loud scenes, or lengthy monologues. Yet, it touches the heart deeply. And that is why we wanted to share this film with you. We hope you liked our movie selection. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.